It feels like the quaint kind of place where everybody knows everybody, and with a population of under 1,500 people, that is certainly possible. However, this little city is more than just a simple collection of buildings and people. It has a history that includes a fascinating event in which this town both hosted and helped the enemy during a major world conflict. This is Coon Rapids, Iowa. The story of Coon Rapids, Iowa began in 1863. When two residents from nearby Carrollton built a saw and grist mill here on the Middle Raccoon River, the namesake of this community. In the early days of this area, raccoons were hunted for their pelts, which is why raccoons are featured in local area names still today. With the construction of a rail line just south of the little village, new residents began to come to Coon Rapids, adding new merchant and tradesman positions, in addition to the many farmers that had already called this area home. Eventually, this town would become a center for economic and recreational activity for the four county areas. Being an agricultural area, it's no shock that many agriculturally related businesses had set up shop here. But it was one agricultural business in particular that would bring attention to Coon Rapids on a global scale: hybrid corn. In 1931, Roswell Bob Garst founded the Garst and Thomas Hybrid Corn Company. The Garst Seed Company helped to spread the use of hybrid corn in the United States and beyond, as it had expanded into an international company by the mid-1950s. Garst was a bit of a risk-taker and experimenter, believing that world tensions could be eased by using what he called food diplomacy, a form of citizen diplomacy. He was interested in feeding the world, sharing with the world how to produce food, in turn making the world a safer place and, hopefully, providing a path toward peace. At the height of the Cold War, Garst invited Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, who had been pushing to create an Iowa-style corn belt in parts of the Soviet Union in the 1950s. In September of 1959, Khrushchev took Garst up on his offer and visited the tiny little city in rural Iowa to tour the Garst farm and seed operation, in an effort to understand how to better grow corn and apply some of the techniques seen here in Iowa back in the Soviet Union. Khrushchev's visit to Coon Rapids was a public media spectacle, with people lining the roads to the farm on that day. Garst was helping and teaching one of America's most feared enemies of the time, in a time when communism was a blacklisted thing here in America. Calling this unique agricultural education partnership Peace Through Corn, Garst left his mark on this town, and through the media publicization of this event, his company only grew. Over the years, the Garst Seed Company was eventually absorbed into other companies, with Beck's Hybrid Seeds holding the last remaining operating parts of the former Garst Company here in town today. Today, 5,500 acres of rural land here was donated by the Garst family to become the Whiterock Conservancy, on which you can hike, ride ATVs, kayak, or just take a look at the site where the unique Soviet and American civilian diplomacy event took place. As you walk around town, there is such a cool laid-back feel here. I love that nobody here felt like they were in a hurry to do much of anything. I take these weekend trips to get out of the city and to temporarily live a simpler lifestyle than I do in my everyday job as a teacher in suburbia. Walking around town, I felt an overwhelming feeling of just being at ease, a calmness. There was a little farmer's market going on while I was visiting Coon Rapids, and being that I like to try local foods, I saw that one of the vendors was selling Scotcheroos, a local favorite that is basically like a Rice Krispie treat that is made with butterscotch and covered in chocolate. It was fine, nothing special, but I don't regret getting it. There is also one semi-touristy spot here just outside of the main village area as you come into town, with a small sculpture park which also has river access for boats. This little park has some neat sculptures in it, and although it won't take you long to see everything in the park, it seemed fairly well cared for and was a fun little stop with some quirky pieces of art. Coon Rapids surprised me with all that it had to offer for being such a small place. While this is definitely not a hot spot for tourists, it does have a story to tell, as does almost every little dot on the map, stories that I then pass on to you. We'll see you next time somewhere else down the road.